Hey, this is Dan from the FMV Archive. Today we are doing our walkthrough of the Xfiles video game for the PlayStation 1. We're going to jump right into it. You may notice it a couple times that it speeds up a little bit. That is just so it goes a little bit quicker. You don't want to see me clicking around the room the whole time. But we're going to get going and start with disc 1. This is a 4-disc game released in, I think 1997. But you go into the field office. This is you. This is your Agent Fillmore, and this is your partner, which we are about to find out.
My Agent Cook.
You picked a great day to be late. There's some big gun in from DC.
A lot of this game is just decision making, you know, and here's one of the decisions that really don't matter. Are you paranoid, indifferent, angry?
Did he say anything to you?
You'll find out that it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Calm down, my friend. You're looking a little guilty.
But it does allow you to change the story around a little bit, and I do like that. And I actually love this game. Huge X-Files fan. Absolutely obsessed with the show when it came out. Still obsessed with it today. Absolutely love it. This is the navigation. You walk around. None of the pictures that you see, none of that stuff, it's really going to matter. This is one of the things that annoy me.
Come back later, please.
Okay, he's going to tell us to come back. So you have to go back to your office. So, all right, let's get back to the office. You'll find it right here. Sit down at your desk. Everything is point and click on this game. Now, I can tell you what I told you about annoying.
Wilmore.
Agent Wilmore, I want to see you in my office.
So, 7 seconds ago, that was not a good time, but now, just fine. Come on into the office. This is the one thing you absolutely do want to do. Grab your badge, grab that badge, grab that badge, grab that badge. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to talk to a lot of people in this game. So something that is very simple, but you absolutely have to have done.
Come in. This is Assistant
Now we are
Director
ready, and you are
Skinner.
going to meet Agent Skinner. This is the boss, if you never watched the X-Files, this is the boss of Agent Mulder and Agent Scully in Washington, D.C. for the FBI.
I haven't heard from him in 3 days. I'm extremely concerned.
We found out that they're missing. You are the guy that is tasked with finding them. And from here, a lot of the stuff is simple, just asking questions.
Where were they
last seen? Are they romantically involved? I think he asks the romantically involved at least 17 times in this game. It becomes quite a theme.
I'm not quite sure. All I have is this travel requisition, which shows that they were going to Washington.
These two agents were able to function with a high degree of
Now, this is your
autonomy.
boss here, who will come in handy a couple times throughout this game. It is a pretty linear game, but when you get stuck, he comes in handy. This is just showing you where they stayed. None of the documents you really have to look at to find out anything in the game.
You'll find it in the dossier, however.
But it's, you know, if you want to look into them, they're actually incredibly detailed, all the documents in this.
No, not like this.
Had they been
I love this
involved
part.
in the past?
As I say, I don't know. I don't believe so.
Like, Mitch Pileggi is already upset and angry that they're asking the same questions
involved in
over and
this
over again.
investigation.
We're 5 minutes
It's up
into
to
the
you,
game.
really. You know the Bureau's policy on backup? I would suggest you use all available resources.
Do you know of anything unusual in Everett?
There's nothing that I'm aware
They
of.
really try to put X-Files themes into this,
What should I do
which
with
I
my current
love.
cases?
They've tried to put a
And the
little bit of the
month of Cook.
spookiness
I
into
know
the
he's
show.
busy, but
My
this is
one
my
complaint
priority.
with this game is everything is very dark. And then, especially if you're
File
playing it
EPB
on a
on
larger
Mulder
screen
and
on the
Scully. Then give your
PS1,
current case
where,
files
you
to
know, it
Cook.
is not
A.D. Skinner
all that
will join
great.
you shortly.
There are some spots in this that are incredibly dark and impossible to find stuff. One of the things you will find in emulation, it is much lighter, is much easier to see stuff. Okay, here's another choice.
Okay. What's happening? You can't just sit on this. You gotta tell me what's happening.
A couple of agents have disappeared. Pair out of DC.
Now you'll find that these really don't have any impact on where you go in the story. It does have an impact on the reactions you get, but whatever one you pick, and you think at the beginning of the game you'll be getting those all the time, paranoid, happy, sad, mad. There's a handful of those that you're going to see for the rest of the game. Those are very rare to find those. All right, back to our desk, and Again, some of these things, they don't detail it well, but you kind of have to do it. You have to put out this missing person APB. You have to do that. If you don't do that, you're just stuck for the rest of the game. This is like the one really only kind of Easter egg silly thing that's in here. I don't know why it's here, especially because there's only one of them, but it is there. So, all right, we put the APB out on Mulder. You can use your computer. Some of the stuff does not work on your BlackBerry that you have. Remember, this is 1997. There's no iPhone at this point.
What case is you working on?
Some of the things don't work on that. Some of the things in your email don't work on that. You can't download attachments on your PDA, I believe they call it, your personal digital assistant.
Shanks wants me to hand my cases off to you.
You'll notice that that little X in the upper right-hand corner.
Great.
You can play with that on or off. I play with it on. Sometimes if you're stuck, or if you're, mostly when you're on a screenshot, when you're looking for something and there's something you need to click on, that'll kind of wave, and that means you need to click on it, and you found something. Like I said, the PS1 version is so dark. You're going to want to use that. I would definitely turn it on. Don't feel that you're cheating if that is on. It definitely makes the game better. Okay, we're going to the inn where Mulder and Agent Scully played. And this is another one too. You definitely have to find all this stuff. So if you're stuck here, this is a good place to watch it and find out, what am I missing? The conversation with this woman in the front is, we will find out, entirely too long, and
Can I help you?
could have been made a little bit quicker. Again, if you do not have your badge, she is not going to talk to you, and she's going to say, I need to see some ID. So you have to carry that badge with you. That is, or you're going to have to go back to your desk, get it, and then come back.
And the names.
And again, on a PS1, that's a lot of loading time that you're going to have.
They paid for a week in advance, room 3 and 4.
Did you notice anything unusual about the two agents?
Most of this game is a police procedural.
Was kind of
you're
spooky.
asking questions,
that, no.
you're getting information, you're getting clues to their disappearance.
Did anything
But
unusual
this
occur
is
while they were
kind
here?
of similar to like the Night Shift game, something like this. We're watching a movie, and we are just kind of controlling the pace that that movie goes at. Again, there's more clue finding and a little bit more detective work in a game like it's Late Shift, not Night Shift. I'm sorry. It's less of an interactive movie. There is some things that you can do in it. Like I said, you're getting clues here. Are we really going to use that Ford Taurus license plate? Yeah, you can. You'll get some information for it. Does it change the game? Not really.
Here we go. This is his room. She stays next door.
Thank you.
I hope there aren't any dead bodies in here. I got finals coming up next.
You'll find out soon. The people that made this game are definitely the writers and everything. Are people that watch the X-Files, were involved with the X-Files.
Did they look unlocked?
It has an X-Files feel to it. You can tell he is kind of a David Duchovny clone, just by the looks, just by how he acts.
You know where to find me.
And you'll see a couple tip of the caps towards the actual X-Files show several times in this. One coming up here.
Why don't you start with Mulder's room? I'll take Scully's.
And if you ever wanted to, like I said, this game has a whole bunch of detail in it that you really don't need. There's the tip of the cap right there, sunflower seeds. We know this is Fox Mulder because he loves sunflower seeds. And again, you can read all this stuff if you wanted to. It adds to the story if you're super into the story, but it really doesn't do anything that changes the game at all. And to be honest, it's kind of dry. It's the boring side of the police work, but they went through the detail to put it in there. I will say that. Which I do love about this. Again, you can read this whole thing, and it is massive, and they show you quite a bit of it. Just an alien book. There's a lot of that.
Should we check the outgoing calls?
That's a good idea. The clerk will probably have a record.
How long have you known them?
Again, I call
I've known
Agent
Mulder
Fillmore in
longer
this,
than
I call him a lot of, detective search engine.
Six.
He probably asks 600-700 questions during
would be
this
helpful
game,
to
which
know what
again,
case
it's a
they
police
were working
procedural,
on.
so I guess that makes sense.
Yes.
But it can
Yes, it would be
sometimes be a little bit overwhelming, like
appreciate it if
right
you
here.
didn't,
Like, do we? I guess this is kind of
refer to
here as
them as
exposition
so.
dump for if you've never seen or played, or if you've never seen an X-Files episode. You'll learn some more stuff about Mulder and Scully. That's another key pickup right there. We didn't want to miss that. The computer. You don't get that computer, game's not going to let you go any
What
further.
now?
So definitely pick that up. Again, you can ask her
You keep
all
a record of
these
outgoing calls?
questions
Sure,
if you
for
want
billing
to.
purposes.
Could I get a copy, please?
Great.
It's just kind of here
Give
to
me a
add to the
minute.
story.
I want you to know you're putting me behind.
Sorry, don't mean to bother you at work.
Funny.
We can look at our phone records here, and you are going to find out something here. Okay, a phone number. Wow, let's bring up our Nokia phone, which they probably had to pay to get this in there, and this was like a thing, product placement back in the days. This computer crimes thing here, this is kind of an annoyance. They never actually do anything for you, but you do have to call them, and if you don't call them, it just kind of stalls the game too. So back to the field office.
I'll be reviewing my notes in the meeting room.
Again, we speed up a little bit of the movement here. Put that computer down. That becomes very important later. And this is where you can kind of check things. And it populates everything for you. So it brings up the warehouse address. So you did need that phone number in there, but you don't need to memorize it. You don't need to write it down.
I
It
don't
just kind of
believe we're
keeps
done in the
track
field,
for you.
Agent Wilmore.
At this point, definitely want to grab this stuff. This is important too. Nobody tells you to pick it up, but you have to know you need to get your detective gear. So to take fingerprints and all that fun stuff, again, you can go to the Dockside Warehouse and you're going to find out that you can't do anything unless you picked up that gear. So absolutely do that. This is one of the more frustrating parts to play on the PlayStation. It's a little bit better on the screen here, but you will find this whole warehouse is incredibly dark.
Yeah, someone share
It is incredibly hard to find out where you are in this because everything looks the same. So your bearings get lost really quick. Like, what the hell am I looking at right there? I don't know. Oh, black sludge. Black sludge on a black ground in a very dark building. That's one that you kind of almost have to know that it is there kind of as soon as you walk into that place. And you need your evidence kit to take all this stuff, which we will find out becomes very important later.
I found blood. Someone got shot.
So now we are going to look around. Like I said, it gets a little bit better on this. If you're playing this on your big screen TV at home, this stuff is going to be very, very hard to find. This bullet is damn near impossible to find unless you kind of know where it is. I hope that you can see where it is on the video here. It's lodged into the wall. Fillmore always has a very serious look on his face. Okay, now we're gonna look around. Like I said, we're gonna do this at high speed because it's like, where the hell am I? I know where I'm supposed to go, kinda. We're gonna go outside. And again, everything looks the same. We are gonna get, and imagine if you were going regular speed at this. This would take like 6 minutes to get here. Okay, so now we're going to talk to Mr. Wong, but boy, do we need that FBI badge
Wilmore,
first. So just get it
FBI.
out.
Like to ask
As soon as you
some
talk to
questions.
people, just pull that thing out.
What's your name? James Wong. What can you tell me about that warehouse?
Again, this is kind of like a Wikipedia
Bunch.
info dump,
a
asking a
warehouse.
bunch of questions. Now, a
I
lot
don't
of
know,
what
I
he
just
says
stopped
here ends up
They
being
used to
fairly
haul a lot
important
of
to the
cargo in and
story.
out of there. On guard
So you may
sometimes.
think this is kind of an innocuous
Now, lately it's been pretty
conversation, but
quiet, which ain't too surprising,
this is
considering
one that you
what's
want to
been
pay
going
attention to
on
because you
around
get a lot of info
So what
that
exactly is that?
kind of backs up
Fish
is
been
the
drying up.
backbone for everything else that happens in this game.
Have you noticed any unusual activity? Not really, just the fact the warehouse has been a lot quieter than usual.
And having played this thing, oh
Been here this
man,
last week?
15, 20 times in my
haven't seen or
life,
heard
like
anything unusual?
every time I watch it, you
No,
pick
I
up
try to
something
get home
new
by
that
now
adds
to
to
see
the
my
story a
family.
little bit here, and even in conversations here. You know, just
Tell me about your family.
tell me about your family. You
Curious.
find out things
Learn
later
how much
on. If you
family
really
that's
want to get deep into the information they have in this game, they have
Wife,
a lot. You can
little
look at
girl.
his file and you find
old's
out
daughter?
that everything essentially he's
7.
telling you here is a lie. And
Young
I
for a
also
man
love
your
that he
age.
picks up
I'm
on his
surprised.
accent.
I eat a
What
lot of
accent
fish.
does he have? He acts
Wife
like he
younger than
just
you?
came over here from another
Young enough
country.
to have a 7-year-old.
Obviously, the actor couldn't do
How long
the
have you been in this
accent.
country?
So they just said,
My
you know what,
accent
F
gave
it,
it
go
away,
for
huh?
it, but we're going to keep it in the script. It
10,
doesn't matter
11
too
years,
much.
maybe. Where you
But
from,
you'll
Mr.
find
Wong?
out that why he
China.
doesn't have an accent, I
I
guess,
left
if you look at
Canton
his
in
files later.
1985. Any reason why we'd find blood in that warehouse?
Always
Oh.
important to ask all the
Industrial
questions
accident,
about
maybe,
the
I
evidence that you do have. That is very important. Sometimes if you don't ask those for places,
So what's
you'll
happened to the
find
fishing?
out that, again, you get in kind
I
of
don't
just
know,
a
but it's
stuck
getting
mode
bad.
of the game where
Some
it's
folks
just like
say
it
it's
won't
from
let you
overfishing.
progress to
How
the
long has
next
this been going
scene.
on?
So always
Long
better
enough
to
for a lot
ask
of
all the
guys to move
questions.
on.
Ask all the
Can't make
questions on
ends
the
meet.
evidence. That's probably the most important
I'm
part.
thinking about it myself.
Okay, we're gonna go back in. Again, speed it up because this takes forever. This is super annoying. You need to use your flashlight. One of the rare times you use it in this game. Go upstairs. Again, it's already dark. Let's make it darker. That should be fun, shouldn't it? Now you're gonna go up here and you're going to find a crowbar, because why wouldn't a crowbar be on the second floor of a vacated warehouse just waiting for you in a toolbox? I mean, of course it makes sense to be right there. It would like a lot more sense to be on the ground floor, but nah, we're gonna make it here instead.
I don't
Then
think we're
turn the
done
flashlight
processing
off
this
so we can
location.
flashlight Mitch right there. That's the
Well, his phone
actor's
is
name.
DOA.
Can flashlight Skinner right in the face. And we got to find something on the ground. I find that using the flashlight in the warehouse actually helps. All right, we're going to open this bad boy up. And what is in here?
I'll
Oh,
never get
we
that crate
didn't
open by hand.
have...
Find a tool.
We didn't have our trusty crowbar there, so let's use that. Like how Skinner comes out to make fun of you because you didn't have that. All right, what is that mysterious substance in there? Don't know. Better take a sample of it, though, I would say. To get out your trusty kit. And that's the one thing about the game. I mean, we have the movie cut here on our page. If you don't want to watch the walkthrough, this is kind of help you if you get stuck anywhere. You know, what am I missing? But we have the actual movie cut of the game, which I think is quite damn good, really, when you watch it as a film. It's much, much better. I really enjoy it. Like, if you didn't want to play the game, you just want to find out, like, what happened, I would highly recommend it. This is another one. Find this cigarette. Damn it. It is so hard to find, to click on. Like, I was on top of it, so it'll just kind of let me do it. So I would play with that, I guess, the easy level of finding clues, because looking for that cigarette can be a real pain in the ass unless you know exactly where it is.
What do you think about this?
Again, here, ask
Popular brand.
Skinner about all these clues. That helps you quite a bit.
I'll have some DNA tests run on the blood.
I'll take a sample
Again,
of the
going back to our
cyclone lab
movie
in
cut,
DC and have it
all
analyzed.
these questions are just played like a movie. We don't have any of the text there.
think
We
about
don't
that?
have any of those things popping
I
up.
don't know,
It
but I
is just the
suggest you minimize
cinematic
your
cut of
contact
it.
with it until we have
I think
it
it's about an
analyzed.
hour and a half, so it's full movie length.
Why would Mulder and Scully have called this location?
I'm not sure, but it's the best lead we've got.
That blood is troubling.
It doesn't look very good, does it? Let's have it analyzed and hope it belongs to someone else.
The bullet passed through.
Okay, this is kind of
victim may
important
only have
here.
been
So, you know, it looks like the bullet
That's
passed
assuming they were only
through.
shot once.
So that's a good thing.
But I
So
appreciate
whoever
your
shot
optimism, Agent Wilmore.
Fox, Dana, or neither
they
of
were
them
killed,
probably weren't killed.
where are the bodies?
Which is good, because
I
the,
doubt the
season,
killers
the
would leave the
series
bodies
needs
of
to
two
go on
federal
like
agents
another
lying here for
6
us to
seasons
find.
after this.
If they're dead, we'll probably never find them. Let's just hope that's not
Often
the case.
wondered if they ever
If we
wanted
delay any
to
longer,
bring
we'd like to
back
find
Fillmore
anything.
into an actual episode of the show, because again, he's met all the characters. It would make sense to do that. Here's a part where you definitely want to save it. You'll find out coming up why you want to save it. And it's always good to save. Again, if you're playing on the PS1, make the saves, because sometimes it'll make you start all the way at the back at the beginning of the disc.
That sedan's been following us since we left the field office.
Who do you think it is?
Someone who's interested in what we're doing.
What should we do about that car?
I think that's your call, Agent Wilmore.
Do you think they know about Mulder and Scully?
It's possible. Why don't you go ask them?
All right, so here's where we go. Definitely, this is exactly where you want to save it, right before the choice. I'm showing it here as a reminder of, you know, if you die here, man, you got to start all the way back at the beginning. So definitely have a save here. Again, I'm pulling my gun. No, shot, you're dead. Good police work right there. Just pull a gun on people you don't know. That makes a lot of sense. So we keep it here to show you, you know, there are ways to die in this game that end the game. And again, if I don't have it saved right there, I am screwed. So really what all you want to do is try to walk over and talk to them. That ends this and allows you to go
Who do you
to
think that was?
the next
As I
part of the game.
just said, someone who's interested in what we're doing.
Do you think they know about Mulder and Scully?
Yes.
And now we are going to go back to, or start, I guess, at the King County Crime Lab. I'm sorry, I thought we were going back to the office. We are going to talk to your buddy here. He's actually a pretty good actor. I think he pulls this off pretty well. You
Hey,
know
John,
what?
how have you
Speaking of
been?
that, all the actors in this,
Bored.
I think are
Hope you have something
exceptionally
real
good.
exciting for me.
I'll do my best.
The budget for this
So,
game was large.
have you got?
I mentioned it in our full review. I can't remember what it was here, but it's significant. It's probably a little bit even more than what a
No thanks, I'm trying
episode
to
of the
quit.
show was at the time.
That's very funny.
Thank you. One Morley cigarette butt. I'll give it the once over.
And the one
What
thing
have
you
we
may
here?
be wondering, if you haven't played this game, is we have not
You're gonna have to do
seen,
better than
again,
this.
other than the opening credits,
I can tell you right now what this is. It's
Agent Fox
industrial
Mulder
grade
or
lead.
Dana Scully yet.
Lead?
Not in the game very much,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Why lead?
I don't know. It's used
But
for
they do make
anything
appearances.
from weighing scuba
not
divers
on
to
this disc.
lining X-ray
Spoiler.
vests. Pretty common stuff.
Is there any reason why someone would treat this like contraband?
Nope. It's neither illegal
Again, if we don't
nor
have all the
sexy.
evidence here, you're going to get stuck, and you'd
There's
have
no
to go
reason
back
why
to the
anybody
warehouse
should
to
want
find it.
or
So make sure you
need
pick up
to
all this
smuggle
stuff.
it anywhere. Finally, something that looks like evidence. Thought you boys had gone dumpster diving or something. One slug. Looks like a 38. It's not in very good shape. Standard stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I
Kind of
dug it out of a
reminds
hunk
me
of
of
wood.
LeVar Burton, the
got
guy
it.
that did Reading Rainbow. Kind of has the same
this
exact
blood?
voice of that guy.
Very good.
You got a target to match it to? I can tell you the blood type, but without a target for a DNA test, there's not much I can do. What's the case?
A couple of missing FBI agents. We think the blood may belong to one of them.
That's too bad. I'd suggest you have the Cycrime Lab in DC run it. They could probably match it against the current agent database pretty quickly.
Again, when we're talking to the crime lab guy, it becomes exposition-y a little bit.
You think the blood belongs to
And a
one of your
lot of
agents?
this,
I
this
can't
part
rule it
right
out.
here, it's kind of
But I'll wait for the test
duplicative.
results
I mean,
before
we've
making a
already kind of talked to
determination.
Skinner about a lot
I
of this
suggest you do
stuff.
the same,
Why are we
Agent
doing it
Wilmore.
again? But I
Is there a
guess if
connection
you
with the decline in
have
fishing?
Mitch Plegly
I
for
don't
so
see
many
any obvious
days, you're
connection.
going to use him because he's
Sport
probably
fishing
used
isn't a
more
federal
than
offense.
any other
Wong is
real
involved?
actor from the show. He's
I
probably
don't know.
on
Did you
screen
get
the
the
most,
sense
I would
that
say.
he knew more than he was telling you?
He's definitely hiding something. What do you think that powdered lead is being used for?
I don't know. That one has me really stumped. It could be a byproduct of weapons manufacture. I suggest you conduct a little research.
Why were we being followed?
I don't know, but whoever's involved in this case isn't afraid of the FBI. There could be an underworld
he is
connection.
putting in the same amount of effort that he did in the
Skinner,
show. There's your
you've gotta
boss
call on line
again.
one.
Yeah, like I said, your boss actually comes in handy. We're going to find
Skinner?
out. But he's putting in the same effort he did in the show. This is not something that he's kind of like, oh my God, I'm doing a video game. Good actor, done a lot of stuff. Over 100 credits, I believe.
I have to go back to Washington
Mitch
immediately.
Plugly, really good.
I'll take some of the blood back to the lab in DC for analysis. I want you to begin surveillance on that warehouse tonight. These two
You would
agents are
think
very
a senior FBI person would probably be working on this case because 2 FBI agents are missing and possibly shot, but nah, we'll leave it to this guy in the Seattle field office.
Agent Wilmore. the
Here's something
prodigal
that can
son
come in handy
returns.
for you.
I could use some help
You
with
can
this
ask your
case.
boss at any point. You can go to him
Okay.
and say you need
Let
help
me
on the
review
case.
your notes.
You can hand him over your personal digital assistant. Look how small and easy and
I run a
compact.
background check
that
on
is.
Wong.
And he will give you a clue.
The rest of it looks pretty good.
Whatever it is, he will say, you know, go back to the warehouse, go back to here.
Hey, pal, how's it going out there? I'm sure you're sucking up to Skinner appropriately.
Here's your partner, very helpful guy. Just wants to
You know,
help you out on this case,
could be better.
obviously.
Well, that's too bad. What's the problem?
None of these leads makes any sense.
Give it some time.
Again, the conversation
have
can
time.
change a little
I hear
bit
ya.
here, and there are minor changes
listen.
in the game, but for the
If
most
you
part,
need
it stays
anything,
the same,
you just let me know, okay?
depending on
Thanks,
whatever
man.
answer you pick.
What's with the laptop?
No, Scully's. It's password protected.
You want me to call Computer Crimes Division, see what they can do?
No, I'll do it.
Okay, fine.
Again, you can check anybody's name. We're going to check Wong. You're going to find out actually he was in the Army. He has a whole bunch of robberies, possession, property stealing. So he lied to you quite a bit. And we're going to throw our computer into the evidence here because obviously the computer crimes lab is going to pick that up at some
How
point.
things been going here?
Pretty quiet. They moved on the militia group. You missed all that.
Thought this guy was a really good actor
But other
too.
than that,
He's been some other things, but at
Hasn't
least
been a
the
whole
other
lot going
actors
on.
in this that weren't the Xfiles actors, not all that prevalent careers. Dockside Warehouse. This part can get really annoying. Really annoying. Save it. Save it. Save it. Save it. Save it. I'm not even going to show you all the ways. I don't think I am going to show you all the ways here because you can die about 17 million different ways in this one. Anytime you click on someone, okay, I'm gonna pull out the gun, I'm gonna shoot them. That should help, right? Let's get the gun. Nah. We're gonna find out how do you get in here. This becomes very annoying. We're gonna go right in the front door. Nah. Dead. Yeah, that made a lot of sense, right? I went with my gun in the front door and I'm just dead. No, that didn't work either. So what are we gonna do this time? We're gonna go, oh man, around the back. Of course. What was I thinking? Go in the back door. It's open. No, it is not open. How the hell do we get in there? Look, click on that thing, it'll tell you. Use the lockpick. Then use the lockpick, and that will get us in the back door. Why is the vacant warehouse locked up at night? I don't know, but we're gonna go in anyway. And it's incredibly dark and we can't see anything. We can't see anything. What the hell? Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? This is super frustrating. Oh, there are guys getting something. We should probably go after them, right? Yes, definitely. Absolutely go after them. So, okay, we're looking, and get the gun. No, maybe. Do I shoot him? Yeah. No. Yeah, I did, and I died. Very frustrating point of the game here, because, I mean, I've loaded this enough times, haven't I? Load it up again. What should we do this time? I mean, these are the guys that shot at us earlier. Well, we don't know that because in this tangent of our universe, that didn't happen. So I suppose we will go through this painfully again. This is what I was talking about. Now, if you don't save it here. This is a really miserable thing to do. Okay, we can check that. Again, we got it in hyper speed. We're gonna get right back here. If you wouldn't have saved it here, you would have went all the way back to the beginning and had to have done this all over again. So saving, 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 saving. Always a, you know, it's the one thing you miss, all you young kids, when you're playing your newfangled games that auto-save. Oh, no, 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 no. You had to deal with a memory card all the way back in the day. And that memory card would sometimes just decide not to work. Okay, so you sit there, you do nothing. Nothing. You go back to your apartment, you go to sleep. Are you kidding me? We did that like 7 times, and all we had to do is sit there and watch it. That was it. Office, and that gets us to disc 2. So if you want to keep following us along, pop in the next video. If you want to watch the full movie, go do it there. Like and subscribe to the FMV archive. Thank you.